past year, we have seen a surge in civil rights and political demonstrations, including here in San Diego. In some instances, we have seen gatherings take a violent turn. Well, recently, a local group formed with the aim of providing a blueprint for peaceful protests. Joining us now to talk about the group and its goals is USD professor Necla Tschirgi. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So the full-page ad the group took out in the Union Tribune, very eye-catching, signed by more than 50 local leaders, educators, clergy, law enforcement leaders. Can you explain how this group came together?
Yes, indeed. We actually started in late October, leading up to the elections, November elections. Several of us got together and started worrying about what might happen if we saw violence leading up to the elections. So there were three of us, actually, the original group, Carl Luna, who is the director of the Institute for Civic Engagement, my colleague Andrew Bloom, who is the director of the Institute for Peace and Justice at the Kroc School of Peace Studies, and myself, I'm a professor of human security and peace building at the Kroc School of Peace Studies. And our combined experience alerted us to the fact that elections can trigger violence, especially in hotly contested and polarized elections. So we got together. We were soon joined by another colleague, Ken Druck, and we wanted to know what we could do to prevent violence around the elections in our community, and if violence broke out, how we could mitigate the impact of that violence. So this initiative has been going on since, as I said, late October. Luckily, the elections took place without violence, but we were still worried about a number of critical dates leading up to the inauguration. And indeed, as we suspected and as we worried about, we saw some horrific violence, insurrection on the 6th of January. And that mobilized us to prepare a statement which came out in the Union Tribune yesterday, and as you said, signed by a number of academics, researchers, community leaders, faith leaders, and officials of different organizations.
Professor, as you know, the real challenge is reaching people who may be inclined to resort to violence. How will you do that?
Well, I should have explained that our coalition is a very informal network of people. We are representative of groups and sectors who already believe in peaceful dialogue, democracy, rule of law, nonviolence. So our purpose is not really to preach to the choir. Our purpose is to reach out to people who might be tempted to resort to violence to pursue their agendas. So I think that's a very important issue that our group will have to address now that the inauguration happened and we have a new administration in place. We fully recognize that the root causes of the violence have not been addressed, and there are going to be groups, what we call in the field, spoilers, who might be tempted to resort to violence again. And we're hoping in this coalition to better understand what some of those risks are and what we might do as a community, different sectors within the community, to try to prevent this type of violence, and to also support the idea that social change is important. Social justice is important, and people's grievances have to be listened to, but we have to find non-violent strategies for protest, non-violent strategies for social change.
And we look forward to seeing what the group will do going forward from here. Thank you so much for joining us, Professor Necla Tschirgi.
Thank you.